Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Gennady Golovkin may face another Mexican undefeated fighter May 5th if Nevada State Athletic Commission approves him. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, I don't understand why some of you guys choose to go against the Don. Now, I did a video earlier and I said that Golovkin may face an undefeated fighter from Tijuana, and some people in the comment section, they couldn't believe it. They didn't believe my sources. Now ESPN is reporting the same thing, that this looks like it could actually be a thing if Nevada State Athletic Commission proves it. So I don't know why you guys keep going against it. My channel, I definitely strive to put out consistent, reliable information. We don't always get it right, but that's what we try to do, you know what I mean? But I tell you if it's a rumor, I tell you if it's official, etc. Now this is not official, but I've heard this name before, and he's talking about Triple G versus Jaime Munguia. That's what they're talking about, having Golovkin fight. Dan Rayfield of ESPN on his verified page says, not official yet, but according to multiple sources, it appears as though Mexico's unbeaten 21-year-old Jaime Munguia, with a record of 28-0, 24 knockouts, is going to be Triple G's opponent on May 5th at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas on HBO pay-per-view if the Nevada State Athletic Commission approves him. So it's really up to Nevada State Athletic Commission. So they got some big decisions. They're going to decide if they want to put a 21-year-old unbeaten guy from Mexico who has not really fought competition greater than outside of Mexico in with a guy who's seasoned like Golovkin on Cinco de Mayo weekend. They got to decide Canelo's outcome and his fate April 18th. What is the punishment? What kind of disciplinary action or other are they going to put upon Canelo? Listen, I understand that Canelo is the one that failed the drug test, 2 drug tests at that with clenbuterol, but this is a mess. I'm honest and I'm transparent with my audience. If Golovkin fights Spike O'Sullivan, I was like, okay, that's not really a fight that I'm excited for. Definitely not pay-per-view. But the thing with a holiday like Cinco de Mayo, it's first of all, it's Americanized holiday, but we understand it's a celebration. You know what I mean? So a lot of festivities, you might go to a Mexican restaurant, or you know what I mean, have it catered or whatever, right? You can't, this is the thing, you can't just throw in any Latino fighter, any Mexican fighter that the world is not familiar with and say, hey, it's part of Cinco de Mayo. It doesn't matter if he's unbeaten, because a lot of guys are unbeaten when they haven't fought world level competition. You get me? So this is just a horrible look, and they're talking about putting on HBO pay-per-view still? HBO, man. You gotta do something, baby. I don't know who's running HBO Sports. I don't know who you beat. I don't know who you lost to. But that sounds pretty bad. HBO pay-per-view for Golovkin versus a guy like nobody is really even heard of. And I'm not knocking him. I haven't seen him, so I can't make an assessment on if he's good or not. But it's about, you can't go from Triple G. Even and again, I understand Canelo's the one that caused this by failing 2 drug tests, but even as a replacement, this is bad. This is bad, because Gabe Rosado on his Instagram, he said he'll fight Golovkin. I think at least more people are familiar with the Gabe Rosado brand. You know what I mean? Daniel Jacobs Charlo, that would be very wishful thinking, because they have their own fights. But even guys like Demetrius Boo Boo Andre, he said, I'll step up, I'll fight you, I'll be your Huckleberry. So did Lou DiBella, who's promoting Derevyanchenko. He's coming off some good knockout wins, and it satisfies Golovkin's mandatory. So to me, this, even though Canelo caused this is, to me, Triple G's team still choosing opponent like Jaime Munguia because they like their chances against him. You know what I mean? Because Demetrius Andrade or Derevyanchenko, clearly better fights. Bob Arum put his bid in, said, hey, if you want that 168 work, I got a fighter that'll fight you on Cinco de Mayo. And he's been calling Golovkin out. That's Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. So to me, even though it's last minute and stuff, I think if it is, in fact, if Nevada State Athletic Commission approves Jaime from Tijuana, we got to get a nickname for him, the Tijuana Tornado, right? If approve this, then it's still, they could have done better. You know what I mean? Because there's a slew of names. I mean, shit, I'd rather see a Lemieux rematch just to see if he can get off one shot and see if he can redeem himself from the Triple G loss and the Billy Joe Saunders. And I don't even think that's a great fight. I think Golovkin should be the favorite to beat Lemieux, especially how it went in the first fight. But just to see if he can do something slightly different. At least he has a name, you know what I'm saying? But this Jaime Munguia, it's just like, I don't know. And it's seldom in boxing. I would say it's more rare when you have the A-lister, the Manny Pacquiao, who fights an unknown Jeff Horn and then gets upset. You know what I mean? We know Golovkin, what he does well, what he does very good and stuff like that. And just a guy who's 21, do you really see him having the experience to beat a Golovkin? But again, I think this is Triple G's team. They still want that Canelo fight. See, they kept like kicking a man while he was down, doing the ESPN interviews, and then it cost him because days later, Canelo's getting suspended, and it's like all eyes on this clenbuterol. Canelo had failed the drug test 3 weeks before Golovkin's rant on ESPN. There was no mention of Canelo being suspended in the state of Nevada. All of a sudden, Golovkin and Abel did an ESPN interview. Just look at the timelines. And they did the ESPN interview, and they just went in on Canelo. And it was good for viral videos and got people talking, but almost to a fault. It got people talking so much that people were calling Canelo dirty and said they seen needle marks and were posting pictures with his abs highlighted and his pecs and, you know what I mean, circles around it and showing needle marks and all types of stuff. So Nevada State Athletic Commission, they were forced. Golovkin, with that interview, it gained so much traction that it forced Nevada's Athletic Commission, it forced their hand. They had to do something. Otherwise, it looks like they are in it and they're showing favoritism towards Canelo. And now the whole May 5th is kind of ruined to me. Again, I'm not going to speculate beyond this, but you got ESPN saying it. My sources told me the same thing. I've heard this name mentioned, but I didn't think they would really go this route. Jaime Munguia, who is that? You know what I mean? And to me, there's just better, even if you don't, like, I get the Cinco de Mayo and you want to attack maybe the Hispanic Latino market just because of the date. But at the end of the day, like, if you go to Mexico, let's just be real, they don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo. You know what I mean? That's an American holiday. So I don't see it resonating. I would rather, bottom line, what I'm saying is, even though it's Cinco de Mayo, I'd still rather see him fight a non-Latino if it's going to be better competition, Danny Jacobs or whoever. If they can get someone who's Hispanic, like Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, that's a good fight, great. But you can't just throw anybody in there, especially a 21-year-old with no significant names or experience, just because he's a knockout artist. A lot of guys can be a knockout artist until they step up in class, and then you see those knockouts reduced. You know what I mean? So, to me, bad decision if Triple G does end up fighting this dude, even as a late replacement, because you got guys like Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, a U.S. Olympian, raising his hand. Guys like Derevyanchenko. I've at least seen Derevyanchenko on some Premier Boxing Champs cards, but I haven't seen anything from Jaime, the Tijuana Tornado. Let me know what you guys think of Golovkin if he does fight this dude. Another thing I think is other fights, they still want the Canelo fight. And likely Canelo will get a year suspension, which could get reduced by 50%, so maybe 6 months. They're banking that they can get Canelo later, so they're not trying to take any fights that are too dangerous, or, you know what I mean? Like Daniel Jacobs already proved that he can arguably beat you, because I was at the fight and I thought Jacobs won, and I'm not just the only person. Even Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. said that. He said Jacob won on points. Canelo said that. Myself, I'm saying that. I think Peter Quillen, when I interviewed him, said that. You know what I mean? Joey Spencer, a ton of people said it. So that being said, I think they're not trying to put him in too tough, because they're anticipating the Canelo fight coming back around. But this is boxing. I mean, you got a guy with all the belts except for one. People want to see competition too. It's not just it's a business, and stay safe. If Golovkin's what HBO said he was, like this destroyer of worlds and knockout artist, then you can match him a little bit tougher than a guy from Tijuana who hasn't had that much experience at a pro level. I don't even know. And see, this is the other thing you guys don't understand. Some of you go to his box rec. He debuted at like lightweight, or he clearly fought at 140 to 147 for the bulk of his career. So it's not even like he's a career middleweight. He's a new middleweight. So he might even be too small for Golovkin. Even if you move up in weight over the years, he still started lighter. Just like you look at Floyd Mayweather, he doesn't necessarily knock guys out at welterweight at 154 because he moved up 5 weight classes. So it becomes harder. Versus if you look at a guy like Canelo, he might knock someone out at 54 because he didn't start as light as Floyd or Pacquiao. So everything about this spells trouble, especially if you're looking at the financials. Pay-per-view, that's why it sounds like they're trying to put it at MGM instead of T-Mobile, because they know that T-Mobile's far too big of a venue for something like this, and you don't want to have a bunch of empty seats if possible. But to still put this on the HBO pay-per-view, HBO, you gotta do something, baby. Showtime's killing, and ESPN is doing very, very well for themselves. But HBO, even in lieu of this, because look at how Showtime bounced back from Adrian Broner versus Omar Figueroa. Perfect example. And that wasn't even a pay-per-view. So even if Broner did fight a lesser competition, at least they're not charging Showtime pay-per-view for it. Broner was supposed to fight Omar Figueroa in a fun stylistic match, and it was a fight people were looking forward to. They even had a face-off in January, and that fight fell apart. But now they replaced him with Jesse Vargas. And now Triple G, who has all... Broner's not even a champion right now. You know what I mean? Now you have Triple G, who has all the belts except for the WBO belt. And he might fight a guy from Tijuana that no one's heard of, that's only 21. He's really in a prospect. See, listen, I'm about to go in. This is crazy. Because Errol Spence might fight Carlos Ocampo. And that's his mandatory. He can't control the IBF wanting him to fight his mandatory and ordering that. If he does fight Carlos Ocampo, right? And I heard people leaving comments, oh, who is this Ocampo? Look at Errol cherry picking, right? But look who Golovkin. This ain't nobody on mandatory was ordered. And not to mention, Errol Spence, man, shout out to DeSoto, Texas, man. Ego Army is murking you dudes, murdering. But anyway, Errol Spence, he's potentially going to fight a mandatory. He's a champion. He got to abide by the rules of the belt in which he has. You know what I'm saying? And people were like, oh, who's Carlos Ocampo? Look at Errol Spence. And the worst part about it is we know guys in the welterweight division. I don't even have to say names because you guys know. We know guys that don't want to fight Errol Spence Jr. on top of everything else. For Golovkin's, even with Canelo fucking up and even with Canelo testing positive, you still got guys like Gabe Rosado. Go to his Instagram right now, unless he deleted it. He says, I'll fight him. And he lost to Golovkin. You had guys like Billy Joe Saunders. He said he'll fight him, but he can't make May 5th. Whatever. But you still have Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, Bob Arum and Team Zurdo Ramirez, Gilberto Ramirez, Derevyanchenko and his promoter. So this is a bad look. And I don't want to hear shit about who Errol Spence is fighting if Triple G does fight Jaime Munguia. So I hope it's someone else. You know what I mean? Out of respect, don't, you know what I mean, put this 21-year-old in there when he don't have that type of level of experience. You know what I mean? That's like putting Canelo in there with Golovkin when he was 21 and he turned pro at 15. So 6 years to learn on the job fighting like okay to bad competition. It's not going to ready you for a silver medalist. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next videos, Ego. Fight fans, make sure you copy your tickets to this year's Box Fan Expo. It's going down May 5th, 2018, only in Las Vegas. I'm going to be there. We got a ton of great boxers going to be there. You don't want to miss this. There is a link in the description so you can purchase your tickets right now. Hopefully I see you guys there. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.